wherever you might be. Let us come to this one. Scam or con artists have been with us over time. The viewer, I am sure, recalls with trepidation the Ponzi schemes in my country, your country, with its history of exploitation. The Umanu Mana saga of the 1980s comes to mind here. Today we are dealing with the Crypto Bridge Exchange, or CBEX, scam machine. The anti-graft agency, the EFCC, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, has vowed that investors in the spurious scheme would get their monies back. EFCC spokesman Dele Oyewale made this known. We can only wish the EFCC Godspeed, Kayode.
Okay, let me do an open confession. I didn't know about CBEX until this scandal. That's to tell you.
Oh, you invested?
I didn't even hear, let alone invest. That's to tell you.
Is it too late for you?
Okay. No, just to buttress the point that I am not given to money doublers. I'm not given to 1 naira turn to 1,000 and all those things.
You don't believe in miracles?
I believe in clear-cut investment, not this time, where I cannot trace you, I don't know where you are, I can't
the late Mahatma Gandhi talked about the 7 social sins, wealth without work.
Exactly. So I am totally averse to it, but like you said, how EFCC is going to achieve this looks very, very Herculean for me, because someone should remind EFCC that some of these people have also made more than they've dropped before. It's unfortunate that some didn't know where to match break, and therefore the money they will recover, how they will do the recovery and distribution is left for them. Are they making a very strong statement, a political statement that will return this money? Trust me, I'll be the first to clap for EFCC. I know the reason why EFCC has to come out strong is that these people have been operating in Nigeria. Okay. What have been their call?
With permission or without permission?
Now,
that you know?
SEC has denied them. SEC says they were not registered, and therefore they should face the wrath of the law.
Securities and Exchange
Commission. And a good number of people have said that they didn't know. So how did they get to operate all these years? So maybe it's the fault of EFCC. EFCC said they warned, but I can't recall. Maybe because I'm not into the business, I can't recall when EFCC raised alarm about the possibility of this, becoming what it has become. So for me, I want to watch the whole situation play out. Apologies, sorry to those who have been, terribly treated on this.
Wale, how do you weigh in here?
Well,
you think the EFCC is up against a sea or a mountain of trouble?
It's a mountains of trouble. Because, and you see, I sympathize with the current, EFCC chairman, because it's something
Olukoyede,
because it's something probably inherited. This problem has been there. 600,000 Nigerians participated in this scheme. And they lost 1.3 trillion.
Which is like the budget of some countries.
Yes, you know what that means to the economy of Nigeria, what it means to individual economy. As I speak to you now, we may not have the information, but I'm sure a lot of people are having running battles with hypertension. A lot of people, their homes have been ruined, friendship destroyed, trust shattered.
Dreams dashed. Dreams shattered, yeah.
You see, people are passing through, and helplessly, I'm sure many of them are crying day and night. Why did this happen? This is not the first time. The last time we had MMM that brought in about 3 million Nigerians invested, they lost 18 billion into that scheme. Now, this particular group, I understand they registered as ST Technologies International Limited. With the CAC, and even had the audacity to register with Special Control Unit of the EFCC. So, that tells you that one of the major problems we have in Nigeria is that we wait for a particular dangerous poisonous tree to grow roots and then become very huge, like mahogany, before we start thinking of how to cut it. When the tree was growing, that we were in a position to uproot it, we will not do anything.
No. But
we'll
my people will say, when it begins to drizzle, they no go look for rain doctor. But now when the flood comes,
yes, they start looking for rain doctors. The damage has been done. I'm telling you. These funds we are speaking about, it's not that this fund has gone into the air, disappeared. It's in the pockets of certain individuals. You know,
and possibly lying in banks somewhere.
Of course, in banks somewhere. So if the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit and the banks have been upright enough, they will have discovered this scam early enough. And to warn Nigeria, in fact, to even stop it. It's not enough to warn Nigerians.
Don't you think the EFCC knows a little something we are not privy to?
Of course, they do.
Okay.
They do. The DSS, the banks, they know about these things. You know, who pay these funds. This money, you know, when you are promised investment of 100% turnover in 30 days. For MMM, you are promised investment of turnover of, I think, about 30% in 30 days. And they have what they call guiders, you know, that they also make about 10%. So what we are dealing with is a huge problem. It's a huge drain on the Nigerian economy. Okay. And I can tell you, it may happen again. And maybe there are others that are even happening now that we are doing nothing about it. I know a lot of people have reported to EFCC or to DSS, nothing was done. If we are taking proactive action at the beginning to protect Nigerians, this probably will not have.
All right, gentlemen, we have a gentleman out there who has more insights to share with us regarding this. So we have an investment banking executive and development economist, Nnemeka Obiareri. I hope I got the name right. I greet you. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, my brother. I'm very, very good.
Yeah. Nnemeka Obiareri. Did I get it right?
Yes, you got it right. Nnemeka Obiareri.
Okay. What new can you tell us now?
I know. I find this so discomforting that we are blaming the EFCC, blaming the banks, or trying to lay apportionment of blames to the authorities for people that deliberately entered into a Ponzi scheme driven by greed and ignorance. Wealth without enterprise. Wealth without any hard work, wealth without any value add. It does not even my 12-year-old girl will not fall for a scheme where somebody promises you 100% return on investment. On 35 days, you don't know who the persons are, you don't know where their factories is, you don't know what they are manufacturing, you don't know what they are producing, you don't even know the service they are offering. Just because somebody promised you 100% on investment. It is madness. And again, we need to also go. I've heard stories, people that invested $63 million, $63,000, $68,000, and it shocks me for somebody to have the intelligence to be able to generate $68,000. $68,000, honestly employed, will create 50 hectares of new Tenera palm plantations that will give you $270 million every year for the rest of your life after the first 5 years. So we should be asking the right question. Yes, the EFCC has promised to wade in to tackle this matter. But we need to also begin to question the source of the 1.8 trillion naira that was invested by 600,000 people. We need to ask questions from all sides. I say it with every sense of reason, not just because I'm an investment banker. Any responsible human being with the modicum of intelligence who worked so hard, through dint of hard work and honest enterprise, to raise $68,000, I'm talking about 108 million naira, from whatever source, and not whimsically release it to another person you don't know what he's doing to give you 100% on 35 days. It does not make sense.
Yeah, brother Nnemeka.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, so I don't lose it. It's been a long time coming, brother Nnemeka. I talked about the Wonder Bank, the Umanu Mana thing in Port Harcourt, if you remember. So we glossed over that. It went on and on until MMM. Don't you think there was, or there seemed to have been a little something banks or the capital market was doing that did not encourage Nigerians? If you get my drift.
No, I clearly understand your question, because if you recall, between 2007 to 2010, Nigerians lost trillions of naira in the capital market. SEC licensed operators could not live up to their prospectus. I know of people that invested $331,000 in a particular company to buy their shares. Today, that investment is worth less than $3,000. No dividend paid, no certificate issues. Some of them even took those monies to go to other countries like Tanzania to go and set up a bank, which is against the extant laws of the land. I know of many people who invested, even in some international cable TV stations. Their monies are not yet, there is no protection of investors. That one is true. We cannot gloss over it. There are no protection of investors in Nigeria, and that is the truth. Even those licensed by SEC, there are many operators. But trying to lay blame on the banks is not the right, because one, what is the role of banks? The banks are financial intermediators. Okay. The role of any commercial bank or merchant bank or whatever bank is to provide financial intermediation between surplus economic units and deficit economic units. All that the banks are expected to is to do the KYC. Make sure whoever that is going to open an account with you, you have documentation where they live, you get evidence of where they live, either through their NEPA bill or whatever means of identification. Ensure that all the requisite BVN, NIN are captured. How somebody decide to transact Mr. A and Mr. B, how they transfer money, as long as those monies are not illicitly gotten, it's not the job of bank to monitor who is paying who or who is receiving who. And then on the case of EFCC, I pray. Olukoyede is a very respectable man. He's one of the most, I see him as a man of integrity. Of all the EFCC chairmen, he's one person that comes with very high load of integrity. I am sure he will do his best. But the truth is, the issue of tackling this thing involves every Nigerian. We need to sit down and ask ourselves, Bishop. I say it to everyone today. Criminality thrives in Nigeria because the average Nigerian wants to make it so quick. Nobody wants to sit down and ask themselves, what I'm doing, is it adding value? You need to ask that question. For you to make any investment, for you to even provide any services, such services must provide solution. Nigeria is the only place where you have billionaires and trillionaires who do not have any history of enterprise or honest work. I'll give you an example. One of the renowned billionaires in Nigeria, Chinedu Choro, how did he become a billionaire? Chinedu woke up one morning. He was at Syracuse University, got his phone, he went to Harvard. Along the way, he was going to the metro, he lost his way at the New York Stock Station. He now sat back and asked himself, if I'm smart enough and I could not get my way, how do I develop an app that could help people locate their way in stop stations? 10 years after, he sold it for $1 billion to HubSpot. Here in this country, Otumba Gaddafi went for a party in an open field. There was no toilet. He nearly peed in his pants. He divided, how do I solve the same problem? That was how he created mobile toilets. Before every other person came in, he had cleaned out. Any investment that you are making, you are supposed to make investigations. What am I investing in? What am I investing in? What value is it adding? There is no investment or services that does not add value that should be giving you 100% return on investment. And we should be asking this question. So it has happened. Now the question is, how do we stop it? As I'm talking to you now, there are thousands of other Ponzi schemes happening across Nigeria. Those known and those unknown. And the only way it can be known, and you know that even as far back as 6 months ago, I was privileged to read in many places in social media where some people are warning that this thing is going to collapse. And you need to see the comments of Nigerians. I remember there was one particular young man that raised alarm 6 months ago that this CBEX is a Ponzi scheme. You need to see how the average Nigerians in social media savaged him, how they called him a poor man, how they abused him for even raising that thing. Today it has happened. So every one of us must be vigilant. For Ponzi game to happen, there must be the element of greed, the element of ignorance, and the element of carelessness on the part of the investors.
All right, all right. My colleague has a question for you.
Okay, Nnemeka, let's look at it. You talked about the integrity of Olukoyede, the EFCC, but talking about managing expectation, I don't understand how it works. Can we have this expectation that every money invested can be recovered? What about those who have also enjoyed this so-called 100% increase? Are they going to recover it from them too? How does it work? I don't know whether you understand the expectation.
My brother, is going to be a long journey. I'm telling you, it's going to be a long journey.
It's not a dash, it's a marathon.
Games are like, Ponzi games are like an unending bottomless labyrinth. You keep on pumping, you keep on getting messier, you keep on getting deeper. I pray that the EFCC will do their best. I even doubt that they may have the requisite number of manpower to be able to conclude this thing as quickly as possible. This has happened. Whatever they're able to recover, good and fine. But it's a lesson for every Nigerian. Before this one, others have happened. There are even ones many people have not come to know about. Nigerians must be very, very careful. In an economy, see, let me tell you, there is no country as blessed as this country. I see. You know, I give you an example now. That $68,000 that somebody invested in this CBEX. If the person was smart enough, from Ogun State to Ahafia, to Ibere, to Upper West, to Owerri, you can easily buy land as cheap as $300,000 per plot. That money will have given him 50 hectares of terra palm plantation or 50 hectares of cocoa plantation. That if the person is smart and have patience, we are very impatient in this country, in the next 5 years, properly managed, that place will give at least 200 to 70 million every year for the remaining 40 years. Yeah. But how can somebody have $63,000 for crying out loud? And he wants to invest it and double it because he's a money doubler. We must be able to see. Greed and corruption happens. Corruption happens because of greed. Corruption happens because of kleptomania. Corruption happens because people have refused to appreciate the place of enterprises and honest hard work. Yeah.
Brother Nnemeka, I agree it is not a sprint, it is a marathon for the EFCC. But let it try. Can it try? As my colleague asked, what about those who gained from the CBEX before it crashed?
My brother, it is left for the EFCC to sort out that network and that labyrinth and that cobweb.
Okay.
It's going to be a very long journey and a very long walk. We wait with bated breath and see what comes out of the investigations. And of course, we need to also publish the faces of those behind this CBEX Ponzi game. It's not just good enough to say CBEX. There are human beings behind them. They should be widely published. The same way we publish a lot of things. At every entrance and exit of Nigeria airport, we should publish their pictures, even if it means so that Nigerians will know those behind this kind of criminality. Until we begin to do this kind of thing, go after them, jail them. Because if this didn't happen in China, these guys will face the electric chair.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because the MMM started in Pakistan, you know, the MMM thing. But the man was stopped in his tracks.
Where? I think that is where we are.
But let me thank Brother Nnemeka Obiareri for your time. Thank you very much. You were talking like a businessman. I believe you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, he's an investor. Obviously, he's well educated. Not every Nigerian has that opportunity of that education. Not every Nigerian has information about the sources of these groups. Many of them are involved through their friends. And that is why government responsibility is to protect individuals, both the one that is weak and the one that is poor, the one that is ignorant. So you cannot just say, "Low." Well, it's true that greed, but then the other aspect is that government needs to protect property and the citizens. Look at what happened in Russia.
Yeah.
When Sergei Mavrodov, who started this scheme, he was arrested, and then he was jailed. It was for 7 years. He was released in 2007. It's late now. So if you do this in China, they will make sure that you get arrested and prosecuted. And like he's saying, banks have responsibility role to play in the fight against corruption. They should have a very effective risk assessment policy. They should have a very strong anti-money laundering policy. They should not just assume that when money comes to them, after all, they maintain our accounts. So they must be involved in the battle against corruption.
Last thing.
Yeah. I like you said, I'm really praying for EFCC.
Are you a prayer warrior?
I am. Go. I'm just praying that they should salvage some situation. Totally, government has a role to play. They should protect Nigerians. Yeah. Some of them may have seen Citizen Jones, your 100,000 has turned to 200,000. Probably you just bought a car. Somebody will tell you, you are likely to get more followers to do all these things.
But government,
so government should do everything to protect us.
All right, we apply the brakes here, but not before thanking first Adewale Adeoye. Thank you for your time. And Kayode Ladende.
Thank you so much.
Wally has a set of triplets. Are they doing well?
I'm
They're
sure
doing very well.
We wish them a happy Easter.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that's it, folks. We're out of here. Thank you for joining. Tomorrow, we return to the regular episode of the program at 5 p.m. But you may watch a repeat broadcast of this particular episode tonight at 11:30. To also add, we are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones, Jones Hussein. Bye-bye for now. Take care.